you get sucked into everybody else being the enemy very easily.
Yeah.
I remember when Ayrton, who'd been kind of a bit of a nemesis, then went from McLaren to and joined us at Red Bull. It is almost kind of had to learn quickly to call him Ayrton, not Senna. But that dropped in a moment because when he first came around the factory, Frank and Patrick said, "Look, please show him around," and his curiosity and natural engagement and charisma was, you couldn't, as soon as you met and chatted with the guy, you couldn't dislike him.
Really?
Yeah.
And what about as a driver?
As a driver, I mean, he could be ruthless, obviously. I think, if you watch that, it was a little bit before my time properly in Formula One, the battle between Alan and Ayrton and the shenanigans that went on there, then you can debate it. I'm sure both drivers in their own minds felt fully justified in what they did, and I guess that's what happens in Formula One.
And are you okay to talk about the crash in '94 with Ayrton 30 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I've been responsible for the design of a car by then for a few years, first in IndyCars. The first car I was properly responsible for was the 85 March IndyCar. And then from then on, continuously another IndyCar and then Formula One cars. Stupid as it sounds, I'd never ever thought or questioned, if somebody gets badly hurt or worse in a car that I've been overall responsible for, how am I going to feel? And when it happened, it was just, I can, the biggest memory of that is those bloody klaxons. When all the noise all the spectators made with all these images of Ayrton sitting upright in the car, you're hoping desperately he's okay. What a waste. I think that was the biggest single emotion. What a waste of such an amazing person, such a stupid accident, and such an unlucky accident. And as much as if it hadn't been for the wishbone leg, then he would have been absolutely unhurt. But of course, in the aftermath, he then goes through you got the initial emotion of, do I want to continue in working in motor racing?
How close were you to stopping?
Yeah, I've definitely thought about just stopping. And then what happened? Was it the steering column snapped? Did we completely mess up the design and field a car that was unsafe, or did something else happen? And at the same time, I was along with Patrick, and we were both on charge for manslaughter, which lasted for about 10 years, which was a pressure, but it wasn't the key thing for me. The key thing was, what part did I personally play in what happened? And I don't think we'll ever know with absolute 100% confidence what happened. None of the data points to the steering column being the problem. What the data does show is that the car snapped sideways in a corner that should have been flat. He got through the first lap flat, so why on earth didn't he get through the second lap flat? He did have a big moment on the first lap, but caught it. But the second lap tire pressure should have been up and he should have been fine. So, I don't know, you can speculate it was a slow puncture. The right rear tyre was destroyed, so you never know. What I do know is the car is aerodynamically unstable, which is definitely down to me. I'd messed up on the aerodynamics of the car. The diffuser was stalling at very low ride height. And Ayrton, having lost the first 3 races, was absolutely determined to carry the car and win that race. And so that's the responsibility I have to live with.
Look, we all know the struggle of deciding what to eat, but what if I told you that Huel can make that decision easier? Their taster bundle has got 8 ready-to-drink bottles, including their black edition, which has got 35 grams of protein, 6 daily A to Z vitamins, 8 complete nutrition bars, 2 hot savoury pots, and a free Huel t-shirt. All you have to do is click the link in the description to unlock your offer now at huel.com/highperformance.
Of course, then you go forwards, and there have been other times where the car's going round and you know you're taking a bit of a risk, but you're trying to weigh up in your own mind that risk reward. Probably the worst one actually was I came away most emotional from after Imola was Spa. Which year was it? Spa, I think it was either 10 or 12, where we were in a tight championship battle with Fernando. The tyres in qualifying had started to, when Pirelli looked at them after qualifying, they had structural problems. They'd been compromised. The carcass was starting to break down. And the answer, according to Pirelli, initially was, you're running too much camber, you need to reduce the camber. To reduce the camber, we would have had to taken the cars out of Parc Fermé, so both drivers, Mark and Seb, would have been at the back of the grid. So, it would be handling Fernando an absolute gift. So then it was, okay, what else can we do? And Pirelli came back and said, well, it's what's called a standing move, which is when the sidewall flexes too much and fatigues and eventually fails. So if you raise the tyre pressure significantly, then you've got a much better chance of surviving with these damaged tyres. So there's, okay, right, well, we'll start the race, we'll bump the tyre, jack the tyre pressures right up, we'll start the race and we'll pit on lap 8 or something, I can't remember exactly, or pit early, and hope that then we can go on to win the race from there. And so we picked, I can't remember which driver we pitted first, which pitted Mark and then Seb. I think it was that way around, because Mark's tyres are in a slightly worse shape than Seb's. On lap 8 and lap 9, got away with it, and they went on to finish 1-2. Now, that I have to say, because Spa is not an accident where a track where, well, any track, but particularly Spa is one of those ones where if you had a tyre failure at very high speed, it could be a really nasty accident. So that was...
What were your emotions on the pit wall then at the beginning of that race?
Just super tense, super stressed. Am I being irresponsible here? Am I putting undue risk on one or both drivers? Quite a few within the team said, no, we shouldn't be doing this. You should start from the pit lane. Mark and Seb said, of course, but you expect them to.
So you gave them full information, so they knew exactly.
Yes, they knew exactly, but it's not fair in a way because they're competitive nature. They're always going to say, yeah, we'll take the risks. We're sniffing a world championship here.